So after an ugly come-from-behind victory against the Carolina Panthers, the Philadelphia Eagles now get to play on Thursday Night Football in Philly against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who, by the way, still have one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time in Tom Brady. Now, everyone in national media, most people are looking at this game, and this is an easy Tampa Bay victory. And you can't blame them. You look both squads, Tampa Bay has been the superior team. They have Tom Brady, who's still in top form. Their offense has some of the best receivers in the game, and Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and Antonio Brown. And even with a guy like Rob Gronkowski being out for the game, Tampa Bay has more than enough weapons to absolutely torch this Eagles defense. That's what everyone in national media is saying. Now, I think it's possible. The consensus should be Tampa Bay should beat the Eagles tonight. But I think it's possible the Eagles can pull the upset here. Now, the reason why I'm saying that are a couple reasons. One of which, when you look at Tampa Bay's schedule, when last time they've hit high amounts of points, they usually come back down to earth a little bit the next week. Last week, they put up a 40-burner against Miami Dolphins in Florida. Well, now guess what? Now they got to go ahead and travel up to Philadelphia, short week. It's a possibility of a letdown because they might be overlooking the Eagles here. Just like when they went ahead and beat the Atlanta Falcons, their division rival, they put up 40 points. They go out and play the LA Rams in a game where they should have been up for, but they had to travel all the way to LA cross country, and the Rams basically took care of business. They beat Tampa pretty handily. And from what we saw in Charlotte last week, we saw an Eagles team get down big early. They're struggling, but they kept fighting. The defense finally came alive, specifically the interior pass rush with Javon Hargrave and Fletcher Cox. They finally started getting pressure. They made life difficult for Sam Darnold. And he had 3 turnovers. If that's a sign of anything, it's a sign that maybe this Eagles defense is finally waking up. And if they can cause pressure in the interior, which we all know Tom Brady can't move, it could allow for the opportunity for the Eagles to get pressure on Brady and possibly force him to make mistakes. And if the Eagles are going to be able to force turnovers, this gives them a shot to pull off the upset. Now, to be fair, there's the counter argument, whereas when the Eagles have actually played a legitimate NFL offense, they have been absolutely torched. You look at the Dallas Cowboy game, you look at the Kansas City Chief game. The Eagles gave up back-to-back 40-point games against 2 elite offenses who have receivers everywhere. Funny enough, just like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But there is a slight difference. The slight difference is both quarterbacks they played in Dak Prescott and Patrick Mahomes could escape the pocket and extend the play. Tom Brady can't do that. And maybe, just maybe, that'll be enough for the Eagles to actually cause some pressure and turnovers. But there's no guarantee. Tom Brady is one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. He's seen every defense that anybody can throw at him, and he's about as prepared as anyone can ever be for a football game. So there's a very likely possibility he sees the Eagles defense and he's able to pick us apart before we're even ready. That very well could happen. It just depends on whether we can actually generate a pass rush. And it comes down to Jonathan Gannon bringing in some things that Brady hasn't seen from the Eagles defense yet. Like, for example, last week, we actually saw some blitzes from this Eagles defense. We saw some stunts. We saw some things we haven't seen this defense do before. And it caught Carolina off guard. They weren't ready for it. They're going to need to bring a similar mentality when taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Otherwise, Tom Brady's going to sit back there all day and throw for 450 yards and 5 touchdowns. Now moving over to the offensive side of the ball, we've all seen the issues this Eagles offense have had. They haven't really shown us much of an identity. What is their philosophy on offense? Are they just trying to pass the ball? Are they just trying to run the ball? Like, what have they been trying to do? Because they've shown something different each week with inconsistency, non-success. We're not really sure what really this offense can be. Now, the good thing coming in for the Eagles for this game is the fact Tampa Bay secondary is completely decimated. Their corners are injured, Winfield's out as well, and including their starting middle linebacker, Levante David. He's out for this game as well. That's really going to help this Eagles offense be able to move the football. And it's a shame the Eagles could be able to take advantage of their 2 tight ends, but unfortunately, Dallas Goedert's on the COVID-19 list, so he will not be able to play for this game most likely unless something happens in the next 4 hours. But we'll see what happens there. Most likely, he'll be out, so Zach Ertz is going to be just starting tight end for the Eagles tonight. The key for the Eagles tonight on offense is going to be just like it has been that I've said multiple times before. They have to control the time of possession. They need to be able to move the football down the field, keep the opposing offense off the field, and can score touchdowns, which is something they've struggled on both ends this year. We started to see a little bit of success at the end of the Carolina game with it because they actually started running the football. A novel idea. They ran the football, they gained yards, they got first downs, they kept Carolina's offense off the field, and they scored 2 touchdowns in the red zone without much issue, which that's what we need more of. The Eagles have to understand they have to stay on the field, get first downs, and continue to move the football. If they can do this, if they can score touchdowns, if they can limit Tom Brady's possessions, maybe force a turnover or 2, get Tampa off the field, keep them on the sideline, the Eagles will have a shot to upset Tampa Bay. It doesn't guarantee they will, but they will have a shot. Now, my personal opinion on this game, I don't think the Eagles are going to win this football game. I think they're going to give a good fight. I think they're going to give Tampa a run for their money for at least the first half. But personally, I think Tampa Bay is going to have too much firepower, too much Tom Brady. They're going to make enough plays. And I'm still not convinced the Eagles' offense is going to be able to score touchdowns when they need to because they can constantly get penalized for it. So a final right now, I'm going to say Tampa Bay 35, the Eagles 20. So now on for the picks on Week 6. So obviously you've heard my Thursday night pick, Tampa Bay over the Eagles. Now we'll go into the Sunday games. So now we got the Miami Dolphins playing the Jacksonville Jaguars in London. We all know how great those games can be. The way the Dolphins are playing right now, they haven't been playing that well. I think Jacksonville has been showing a lot of signs. I think they're going to steal a victory here. I think they'll beat Miami in London and get a win for their secondary home fans there. Next, we got the Vikings playing the Panthers. Look, Carolina collapsed last week, and that was ugly. Sam Darnold had 3 turnovers. It seemed like he completely regressed back to the way he was playing with the Jets. With the Vikings right now, they're solid. They're moving the ball like they always do. They play good enough defense. They can run the football. I think Minnesota is going to be able to beat the Panthers. Next, we got the Chargers playing the Ravens. Look, it's a game in Baltimore. Chargers had a tough game with the Browns last week at home. They got to fly cross country. It's an early start for them. And for whatever reason, the Ravens have pulled out every game they could this year. I mean, hitting a 66-yard field goal and that epic comeback on Monday night, I got to give the Ravens the win here. Next, we got the Rams and the Giants. I mean, it's Rams. It's Rams clearly are going to win this game. The Giants have been a complete and utter joke this year. And all the injuries they suffered last week, it's going to be too much for them. So I got Rams in this game. Next, we got the Texans taking on the Colts. Can Carson Wentz ever catch a break? I mean, really. He actually plays one of his better games last week, and they lose. So, I mean, he can't catch a break to save his life. The Texans aren't a good football team, so I think the Colts are going to be able to beat them pretty easily here. So I got the Colts in that game. Next, we got the Chiefs taking on the Washington. And look, Chiefs have been struggling, but they're playing Washington. That defense isn't as good as it was last year. I think the Chiefs actually take care of business there. Next, we got the Packers playing on Bears in one of the oldest rivalries in NFL history. Look, I think Justin Fields is playing good enough. Bears are moving the football. They have a little bit of variety now, but Green Bay's got too much. I say Green Bay's going to take care of business and beat the Bears. Next, we got the Bengals taking on the Lions. I have to say, the Bengals have been one of the better surprise teams for everybody this year. They're playing good. They're solid. Burrow's leading the guys. I think the Bengals win this game, and I think they might be starting on a nice little run here. So I got the Bengals in the win here. Next, we've got a very interesting matchup with the Arizona Cardinals taking on the Cleveland Browns. Look, through the first quarter of the season, the Cardinals have been the best team in the NFL, period. They just have been. They're playing well on defense, they're playing well on offense, and whatever they do has been working for them. But they take on a very tough matchup with the Browns, a West Coast team going to the East Coast. My gut's telling me the Browns are going to win this game. They're a little pissed off from last week, losing to the Chargers the way they did. They have a really good running game, and I think that's going to be the difference. But if the Cardinals pull out that game, I mean, you can't question them being the best team in the NFL anymore. But my pick right now is the Browns will beat the Cardinals, handing them their first loss. Next, we got the Cowboys taking on the Patriots. At this point right now, the Cowboys, whatever they do is working. So I think Cowboys are going to easily beat the Patriots. Next, we got the Raiders taking on the Broncos. With everything going on with the John Gruden situation and everything going on with that, the Raiders, I think, have been completely distracted this week. So I think Denver's going to be able to take care of business. Next, we got Seattle taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. No Russell Wilson, no shot for the Seahawks. Even with the way Big Ben's been playing with Pittsburgh, I think Pittsburgh's going to take care of business. So I got the Steelers in this game. And then last, we got the Buffalo Bills taking on the Tennessee Titans on Monday Night Football. I think the Bills are probably the best team in the AFC right now. There could be a little bit of a letdown taking on the Titans after playing the Chiefs, but the Titans should be a good enough team to where the Bills don't have that issue. So I'm going to take the Bills in that matchup. And with that concludes my picks for the week. I want to thank you for once again listening to the Process YouTube channel. If you like what I have to say, please hit the like button. And if you got anything to say in the comments, please, and by all means, have fun down there. Just say what you want to say. If you agree with what I gotta say, by all means. If not, go ahead. Say you don't like what I gotta say. But with that being said, hope you all have a great weekend, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.